life is grand. Everything is going so well in your life. Then all of a sudden, bam, an insidious disease hits you and changes your life forever. Hi, I'm Dr. T, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Dr. Tanisha Ford Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I Miss the Hugs, But Not the Hurts is the first book by Dr. Tanisha Ford that shares with many women her own personal experience with toxic and codependent relationships. To order, go to www.drford.com. This book will take you on a provocative journey that you will never forget. I Miss the Hugs, But Not the Hurts will encourage you to love yourself, to set higher goals and enhance your self-esteem. You must have the desire to create a positive image of yourself and above all, believe in your self-worth. Go to www.drford.com.
Honey, what are we gonna do with the kids this summer?
S&K Bouncers! By renting one of their 3-in-1 bouncers, available for all occasions. Birthdays, picnics, family outings, and oh, guess what? They beat any and all prices. Their 3-in-1 bouncers are only $225 for a full day setup. I need you to call and reserve one right now at 313-208-6716.
That's what's up, I'm about to call them now.
Experience this life-changing story that will leave you refreshed, renewed, and inspired to face life's most challenging times. This is a comma in your life, not a period, by Dr. Tanisha Ford. You will never look at sickness and other life's challenges the same again. This is a comma in your life, not a period, by Dr. Tanisha Ford. Go to www.drford.com to order today.
Honey, what are we gonna do with the kids this summer?
S&K Bouncers! By renting one of their 3-in-1 bouncers, available for all occasions. Birthdays, picnics, family outings, and oh, guess what? They beat any and all prices. Their 3-in-1 bouncers are only $225 for a full day setup. I need you to call and reserve one right now at 313-208-6716.
That's what's up, I'm about to call them now.
What happens when you are hit with a crisis in your life and you just don't know what to do? I mean, sometimes life has challenges that we face and we're not prepared for it. My next guest can tell us all so well about an ordeal that has greatly impacted her life. Tanya Parker. Tanya, thank you so very much for being a guest on our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tanya, I want you to share with me. You have a disease right now that you're dealing with. What's the name of the disease? And tell me about it.
It's sarcoidosis. It's a disease that attacks your immune system. That means that your body starts attacking itself. And the disease is an autoimmune disease. The disease is a debilitating disease. Okay, now I did a little research on this. And when I found out that it mainly affects African American women and not men. You know, that's what's really among women. So when you found out, now let me ask you this, is there a history of this sarcoidosis in your family? Are you the first one? I'm the first one. It's not a history. It's not a disease that attacked the family.
You're the first one?
Yes, I'm the first one.
But you're a twin?
Yes, I am.
Now, has your twin been tested for this disease? I mean, did your doctor advise you or advise anybody in the family, like you have a daughter or your twin, to be tested to see if this may be something that they're carrying?
No, they didn't want to test no family member. My twin did get sick and they did start looking to see if she had the disease, but she didn't have the disease.
She didn't have the disease?
No.
Okay, now what did you do? How was your life before you were attacked with this disease?
Oh, a lot of energy. I did a lot in a day. In 24 hours, I was working 2 jobs, just enjoying my life.
Well, tell me some of the things that you did.
I was partying. I hadn't partied in my life before. I had divorced, and I started partying and enjoying myself. I was working 2 jobs then. I did hair, and I was working for a big company. And then all of a sudden, when I did hair on the weekends, I realized on Sunday I couldn't get out of bed.
Okay, now in my reading, I also read something that they don't know where it comes from, but they said it might be environmental because, like I said, it's not genetic per se. Because, like you said, there's nobody in your family. You're the first generation to have this disease. So, were you working in a work environment that may have caused this disease to be triggered in you?
That is true. I was doing hair in a beauty salon. The beauty salon needed work. Plus, I lived in E-Course. I did hair in E-Course. E-Course have a factory called Great Lake Steel that let out chemicals in the air.
I'm familiar with that.
And
yes.
The doctors is suspected this beauty salon that I worked in, it was old. It was possibility of asbestos. A lot of the things that go on in old buildings that need to be revamped. Well, this shop hadn't been revamped.
Okay.
They suspecting that it could have been in my environment, along with stress, sinus infections.
I was just getting ready to ask you that about stress.
I was suffering a lot of sinus infections, and my divorce was stressful.
Okay, so I was going to ask you about that. You had just recently gone through a divorce. Yes. Now, did you contract the disease shortly after your divorce? Or was it, I'm not trying to get personal, but
no, you're
I'm
not
just
being personable. It was around the same time.
Okay, so you
it
were
was
going through a
around
divorce.
the same time. My divorce was stressful. The disease came out 2 years after I started going through my divorce.
Okay. Now, right now you're employed, but I know that you've been having some issues with going back to work. You can't even work on a steady basis. That's something you shared with me.
It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard. A lot of it is mind over matter because I really want my job. I don't want to be disabled. I struggle a lot. If the weather change, my body will act up. I pain a lot, especially through the middle of the night or mornings. My body it pains a lot. It's just a lot trying to stay strong mentally to do what I have to do daily to get through because I don't want to be disabled. I don't want to go on disability. So I'm fighting every day to be normal and live a normal life.
So what are some of your symptoms?
Oh, my symptoms is my body pain, for one, a cough, a phlegm always in my chest all the time, my voice, dealing with my voice changing. My biggest is my pain, dealing with my pain, or chronic fatigue. That's another big one.
When you diagnose also, a lot of times, some diseases, they get what I call a cousin disease that goes with it. Like, for example, like you have a lot of pain in your joints, and like you say, you're fatigued. Have you ever been diagnosed with fibromyalgia?
Yes, I do have fibromyalgia, but fibromyalgia is not a cousin to sarcoidosis.
Okay.
But I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I'm dealing with muscle. I'm dealing with enzymes leaving out of my muscles, which doctors found out that's causing a lot of pain. If I start secreting too many enzymes, that can cause kidney failure.
Okay, now I'm looking at your skin. You're a very beautiful woman, but I'm looking at your skin, and you have some blotches. Yes. Are those called like lesions?
Well, yeah, they'll call them lesions. These are granulomas, or they're called nodulars. And what this is sarcoidosis of the skin, and this is how it looks if it hit the face. It is a hardening of my cells, and these are very painful. When the weather gets cold, my nose area, my skin just goes into bad sores. I deal with a lot of nosebleeds. Lately, I've been dealing with having problems with this eye, feeling like the eyeball swells, and it's hard to see out of it sometimes. I deal with paralysis. I've been paralyzed as long as 8 hours in a day.
Oh my goodness, Tanya.
Yes, I deal with this arm paining severely bad. I mean, where I'm hollering and I'm crying because the pain is so bad. I live on pain medication.
Okay, what about your family? Since you've had this illness, has your family gravitated toward you, or do you find themselves being repelled? Do you find them just not want to be bothered because they know that you may need so much care?
No, my family, we've gotten closer.
Okay, good.
We've gotten very close because of my illness. My mom is there always praying. My twin is constantly praying. My brothers, they always seeing about me. My children, are there, but I realize my kids will not really talk about my illness.
Are they in denial about it?
Yeah.
So is sarcoidosis, is it life-threatening? Can you, I know this is a very, very touchy subject. I don't want to talk about death, but is it something that can actually take you away from here, or is it just something you have to just live with?
Yeah, there is no cure. They give you around 20-year life expectancy. And they really don't tell that to a lot of patients. But I did a lot of research and read on it. I've been sick about 11 years.
11 years?
11 years.
How many times have you been hospitalized?
Oh, my God. I've been in the hospital so much. I haven't been in the hospital probably this year, starting my 4th year not being in the hospital. But normally I was in the hospital 4 times a year.
4 times a year?
Yes.
And have you ever come close to death in that time of being ill?
No, but I have felt like I just should die because of the pain, the chronic fatigue, can't get out the bed, trying to figure out how I'm going to get to the bathroom, or my house might need cleaning up. You know, maybe my daughter, she was a teenager. She wasn't really there because she didn't want to deal with it.
So right now you don't really have anybody to come and help you like you really need at this time. Do you have people come and help you?
Yeah, my boys.
Your boys come and help you?
They really there,
But,
yeah.
now you talked about your daughter. So I know that you're close to your daughter.
Very.
But you said she's having a hard time dealing with this disease?
Yeah, she was a young teenager, really young when I got sick. And she ran. She didn't understand it. I think she was about 16 or 15. She just didn't understand it. She didn't understand why I couldn't walk from here to there without holding on to somebody. You know, it just was too much for her.
Okay,
it was too much for me.
Yes.
You know, so I understand, how she felt, that, my mom was always able to do anything, and then all of a sudden she can't.
Superwoman.
Yes, I was.
Anything. Yes.
You call Tanya, hey, I can do it. Okay, I'm going to figure out in my day's work. All right, no problem.
I think that's the biggest challenge because, most of the viewers know that I am a cancer survivor. And I think the biggest challenge is having to explain to your kid, your children, that here's this person that is most viral, they're invisible to the kid, and then all of a sudden that child sees you go down, almost to nothing.
It was hard. My oldest son was like, Mom, don't you think that they can just cut these off your lungs? Can't they just cut them and make them go away? I said,
Tanya, we're going to go to a commercial break. Okay. When we get back, I want to ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
Let's take a break. We'll be back in a few moments. Thank you.
Honey, what are we gonna do with the kids this summer?
S&K Bouncers! By renting one of their 3-in-1 bouncers, available for all occasions. Birthdays, picnics, family outings, and guess what? They beat any and all prices. Their 3-in-1 bouncers are only $225 for a full day setup. I need you to call and reserve one right now at 313-208-6716.
That's what's up, I'm about to call them now.
Experience this life-changing story that will leave you refreshed, renewed, and inspired to face life's most challenging times. This is a comma in your life, not a period, by Dr. Drford. You will never look at sickness and other life's challenges the same again. This is a comma in your life, not a period, by Dr. Drford. Go to www.drtford.com to order today.
I Miss the Hugs, But Not the Hurts is the first book by Dr. Drford that shares with many women her own personal experience with toxic and codependent relationships. To order, go to www.drtford.com. This book will take you on a provocative journey that you will never forget. I Miss the Hugs, But Not the Hurts will encourage you to love yourself, to set higher goals and enhance your self-esteem. You must have the desire to create a positive image of yourself and above all, believe in your self-worth. Go to www.drtford.com.
Wouldn't you like to know who the father is for professional DNA testing that costs less than a do-it-yourself kit called DNA Dimensions? It's easy. With a simple swab of the mouth, you can put all doubt to rest. Confidential results in 3 business days. DNA Dimensions with convenient locations in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties. Walk-ins welcome in Detroit and Flint. Call toll-free 855-DNA-TEST. That's 855-362-8378. DNA Dimensions, removing all doubt.
We're back now, and I want to welcome my next guest. This is Mr. Eddie Thomas, who is a counselor, and I thank you for being a guest on our show. He's going to talk about the technical and maybe the professional aspects, you know, of not only this disease, but just the different things that we go through in general that we may need counseling for. But before we go to him, I have one more question I want to ask my guest, Tanya. Tanya, my last question for you, and we're gonna talk, but the question I have for you right now is, do you have any plans for the future? And let me clarify that question. When I was ill and going through my sickness, it's kind of hard to see going forward because all you see is right now, and you deal with right now. But my way of coming out was to dream and to look forward to a future. And I want to ask you, do you do that? Do you see yourself in a tomorrow? You know, I mean, I'm not talking about just living, but are you making plans for your future?
Yes, I am. I'm making plans. It's a lot of things that I plan on doing that I'm not giving up on my dreams. Before, when I first was diagnosed, for at least the first 7 years, I lived in the bed. I didn't go in malls or stores or anywhere. I laid in that bed, and I like you said, you can't do nothing but see what's going on right now. And I had to get out of that in order to get well, to get better, because I had plans with my life, you know, with my children, things that I want to do to better my life. I do have dreams, and I'm going to fulfill them before I leave here.
And you are going to fulfill them.
I'm going to beat this disease.
And see, that's the key to healing. You have to have a dream, you have to have vision, because if you just stay in the moment and you're just looking at what you're going through, you get in a slumber. And anybody who's going through something, it doesn't have to be sarcoidosis, but whatever it may be, financial, it may be health, it may be with relationships, you've got to see yourself going forward. Tanya, I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Mr. Thomas, I want to ask you, tell me about some of the health issues that you deal with.
I've experienced, or I've counseled patients with chronic pain, paralysis, depression, ADHD, ADD. You have different levels of health issues that people come into the offices with, and they range from cancer, HIV positive, AIDS, and things of that nature. But it's been challenging.
So do you find that dealing with these particular issues, what is the greatest factor that you deal with? In other words, when you're encouraging these people or when you're counseling these people, do you find that they have a lot of mental issues that they deal with more so than the physical?
A lot of times the mental issues may come, or they may arise when you have lack of support systems and things of that nature.
That is so important.
And it is definitely, because that makes the patient or the client feel they don't have anybody that they can go to and talk to. They become then isolative, guarded, withdrawn from others. Substance abuse can play a key factor in that too, because a lot of individuals will turn to a substance abuse to hide their mental or their health issue, you know, and sort of like block it out at one point. And once you get to the substance abuse end of it, you open up a whole nother level of problems, and that's, you know, that just adds on to what like such as she has her mental or health issue right now is you know, she's battling or dealing with right now. A lot of times we don't a lot of people can't figure people with health issues out because they don't know how to actually talk to them, or, you know, because a lot of times you hear, oh, I know how you feel, this and that, and actually we don't.
Right. You don't know unless you experience it. You don't know how people feel.
Because at the end of the day, she's by herself. It's just her,
right.
You know, and she experiences this pain on a daily basis.
Right.
She knows she has to take these meds and be compliant with them.
Right.
And be compliant also with treatment as well.
Okay.
And that's a key factor to treatment and meds.
Mr. Thomas, you know, we talked about, you know, support. Do you ever, in your practice, do you encourage intervention? And by intervention, I mean, like, get the family to come in, to get involved. Because a lot of times when a person goes for counseling, I know for me, you know, when I went to counseling, it was just me, you know, but like you said, well, at the end of the day, the people who are around you, your loved ones, they don't know how to deal with you. So do you have a session where you encourage the family members, even maybe close friends, to come and get involved.
Definitely. We do encourage that because that plays a major role into getting well for the client as well, you know, mentally or health-wise. Because if she's not motivated and she doesn't have that support system, then it's like she don't know where she can express herself. Where's her outlet at? And at one point in time, she might just blow up at any, you know, person at any point in time, and you don't want that to happen. So we do encourage that that we can involve certain family members, whether it's the significant other, the husband, the boyfriend, mom or dad, or a sister or brother, because that can help out as well.
Okay. Tanya, did you experience any type of intervention when your family went with you to a counseling session, or they explained to them what your disease was about, and they were taught, you know, what they need to do to help you get through this crisis? Did you ever go through that?
No. Some of the things that he's mentioned, I went through. Blowing up at people, withdrawn from my family.
It's okay. It's okay. So if you had gone through the intervention and your family got involved, do you think that you could have handled your emotional state if they could have just been, because, you know, right now it's like about being empathetic. You know, if I can't relate, you know, if I can't relate to what you're going through, when you blow up at me, I'm gonna reject you. I don't want to be around you. But if I had gone through an intervention, like you said, Mr. Thomas, I probably would have understood, okay, this might be one of the symptoms. This is one of the things they're going to do. I can be more patient and more tolerant of that. Everything, you know. So, you know, I want to encourage you, Tanya, that, you know, maybe you could talk to this gentleman, you know, after the show, and maybe he can help you with some of those issues. What advice would you give people who are suffering from health issues, Mr. Thomas, right now?
Definitely, we can't stress this enough, the importance of compliance with treatment and the medications, because a lot of times when the depression or the person or the individual experience depression, they get to the point where they don't want to take their meds anymore. They miss doctor's appointments. All these are critical areas where this is going to aid in getting her well, you know, back to where she used to be, you know. And if she's not compliant with those, then she can decline at any point. And I think that we need to stress that. And if you have questions with your doctor, call him or her and let them know, look, I want to know about this and that, because this is my life, you know, and you know, you should have that type of relationship with your primary care physician, that you can come to him at any time.
But the doctors only deal with a lot of times the medical doctors, they only deal with the physical. They don't even know how to relate to what you're going through mentally, oftentimes. Yeah. So they should have a resource. I mean, I know they may say, well, go to see this person and go to see that person. But now, if she were to come to you, you would be able to give her resources that she can go to give all the help that she needs. Definitely. At this time.
Definitely, because where I'm at now with our agency is called Empowering Minds. We provide different resources that where a person can come in and they can go here and get help. And we also provide counseling services as well. So definitely, you are right. The primary care physician, they only
they deal with
the medical portion of it, and you know, the advice and the therapy has to come through people such as me with counseling backgrounds or something like that. So
okay,
I would like to say something. A lot of times when you get sick with these illnesses, the medications that these doctors put you on, they don't sit down and say, hey, listen, you about to deal with psychological problems, you about to deal with mood swings, you about to deal with, your whole life is about to change, and you might never be the same again. You really on going on these drugs that I live on, the methotrexate, the steroids, especially because it's different kind of steroids that mess with you psychologically. You need counseling. Right. You can't do this by yourself. I didn't know this. Right. You know, I didn't know this.
You know, I really do appreciate you both, you know, coming on the show and sharing that. And Tanya, you know, we're going to get you help, everything, and it's going to be okay. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
I Miss the Hugs, But Not the Hurts is the first book by Dr. Tanisha Ford that shares with many women her own personal experience with toxic and codependent relationships. To order, go to www.drtford.com. This book will take you on a provocative journey that you will never forget. I Miss the Hugs, But Not the Hurts will encourage you to love yourself, to set higher goals and enhance your self-esteem. You must have the desire to create a positive image of yourself and above all, believe in your self-worth. to www.drtford.com.
Honey, what are we gonna do with the kids this summer?
S&K Bouncers by renting one of their 3-in-1 bouncers available for all occasions. Birthdays, picnics, family outings, and oh, guess what? They beat any and all prices. Their 3-in-1 bouncers are only $225 for a full day setup. I need you to call and reserve one right now at 313-208-6716.
That's what's up, I'm about to call them now.
Experience this life-changing story that will leave you refreshed, renewed, and inspired to face life's most challenging times. This is a comma in your life, not a period, by Dr. Drford. You will never look at sickness and other life's challenges the same again. This is a comma in your life, not a period, by Dr. Drford. Go to www.drtford.com to order today.
We experience a lot of pressures in this world, and I want to teach you how to take control of your life from the inside out. I have come up with 8 keys to help you experience emotional, physical, and spiritual healing. And I want to share 2 of those keys with you today. Number 1, come out of toxic and codependent relationships. Put yourself around people who are going to celebrate you. And stay away from people who are going to discourage you and hinder your emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. Remember that toxicity is destructive and it would literally kill you. Number 2, forgive. Forgive yourself and let go of the past. Forgiveness is the beginning of healing. Forgiveness goes all the way down to the bone marrow. It's a way of coming into refreshment and new life. Remember that you do have a purpose. And when you discover your own uniqueness, you'll discover true happiness. God bless.